Pros. I don't know what you said.
Hey everybody, we are live.
Sometimes it gets us off guard. That's all.
Hey y'all. Welcome to Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits. And I'm Dr. Jemecia, the nurse practitioner extraordinaire, and I'm going to pass it on over to you, Carmelle.
Hey, I'm Carmelle. I'm your whole food, plant-based fitness and nutrition coach, encouraging everybody to add more plants to your plates. Go ahead, Maisha.
Hi, I'm Maisha. That's it.
Hey everybody. Tonight we are talking about when did you learn to communicate with the opposite sex? Listen. I'm still, it's when did I learn? That's an interesting question that came about. I think it's a constant learning thing. But let me just tell y'all something that happened. My daughter found out.
Do we want to tell them who we are?
Oh, go on, go for it.
I mean, if y'all don't know who we are, and I keep freezing, I don't know what's going on. It's
yeah, you are freezing. Okay, I can say it. Hey, we are Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits. If you didn't know, now you know. And ladies, our lips.
Normally it's Carmelle freezing. It's me freezing tonight. Somebody else might have to go on ahead and talk about who we are.
We already started without you, girl. Ladies, we are the Black Coffee, our lips drip with honey, and sometimes we got some grit, but we always have Sass Class and all that ass. And we love it when the gentlemen join us for our conversations as well. So don't be shy, chime in the comments, and I'm going to pass it back over to you, Dr. Jemecia, while Maisha gets herself together. Usually it's me, right? So
yeah. So like I was saying, I cannot pinpoint per se, but I did want to tell y'all a little bit of a story. Not really like a story, but I was like telling my daughter, like, I don't like it when the person that I'm with, like, busts in the bathroom when I'm behind closed doors. And I'm like, why are y'all laughing? And she's like, Mom, that's insane. That is insane. Why are you tripping? That's like normal. I'm like, that's not normal. I need to hear from y'all. That's not normal to me. You need to knock. Like, knock. What are doors for?
I say knock. I'm not about busting that door open. If it's open, that's kind of like an open invitation. But if the door's closed, that means privacy, please. Like my sister and I don't even do that to each other. So no, I'm with you, Dr. Jemecia.
I think Maisha already told us her thing last week.
So if the door is closed, then before you open is fine, but I don't know that I've ever, I'm trying to think. I mean, especially again, with having kids, I still, to this day, doors open, people are congregating, having conversations right there. It doesn't matter. If I close the door, they're having conversations with me. So it doesn't matter one way or the other what I'm doing. So yeah.
In our house growing up, we had the don't lock the door policy.
Right.
The door can remain closed.
You can
now,
close.
Mom would bust open, but that was Mom. And when we got to a certain age, she actually didn't bust the door open. I think we had to have a talk with her or something. But I know family members who will have a conversation, doors open, and they're taking care of business, and they're having a conversation. And I'm like, really? Like, I get offended when somebody takes me into the bathroom on the phone. Like, I'm like, what? I hear an echo. Are you in the bathroom? No, I don't want to be a part of this. Call me back when you're done.
I'm like, call me back. Like, really? You're touching the phone and sitting down? And anyway.
That's what these are for. The phone doesn't have to come in the bathroom.
Right.
You just leave the phone where it's at and I can just hear you.
I don't want to be a part of any of it.
I don't. And besides, the germs are going to jump through the phone on me.
Exactly.
But no, you know what? When did I learn? I can't say that I pinpointed when I learned, but I would have to say, being honest, probably I'd say my late 20s. And I feel like I communicated to a certain level, like, like of course, like, I like you, you like me, we're dating, whatever, but not truly communicating the way that I communicate now. No, I guess it evolves constantly anyway.
It does.
Yeah.
It evolves, right? Because when we're younger and, the world is still about us, or we're trying to please someone, or we're trying to make sure that he still likes me, it's a different type of communication. I remember so you say in your 20s, I think, but again, it evolves, right? From relationship to relationship. I was in my 30s and I was dating a guy and we had a fight. And then we were on the phone and he says, baby, are we going to be okay? And I never heard that. And I was just like, we're fine, and I think that was the first time I heard a man, again, I was in my 30s, be so, I don't want to say vulnerable, but ask a question like that. Like I was the one who was upset. He was like, baby, are we going to be okay? And it was just so sweet. And it was the first time I remember communication, and not like you've seen those reels when they're mad but they still love you, and it's kind of like you want to go in the bedroom. It wasn't like that. It was like, can we talk about this a second? We're gonna be okay. Let's talk about this. So that's one of the first things that popped into my head when you asked that question. Maisha's thinking.
I was thinking, I don't know. I don't know. So on what level, right? So as far as communicating sexually, I don't know when I didn't know that. When it came to communicating my emotions, probably in my early 20s, but I think it was a little manipulative. When it came to arguing and like expressing myself without all the you did this and you did that and blaming and all that, mid-40s. Mid-40s is when I learned how to have conflict. I didn't know how to have conflict in a relationship. So mid-40s is when I learned how to not. I was a little bit of a I was one of the
antagonists. Antagonist.
No, there's this saying that women who have good pee are a little crazy.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was, I was the type that would like make a scene. Yeah. So I learned how to be a little bit better in my mid-40s.
Okay.
It is an evolving thing. While Maisha was
recent, y'all. The last, okay, I'll tell this. I'll tell this story and I'll pass it up.
Did you just say you were going to tell a story?
And you'll pass it. Is she frozen?
Oh, she's frozen.
Oh my gosh.
Are you back?
You back? Can you hear us?
I keep freezing tonight. Tonight it's my turn. Normally it's Carmelle, but tonight it's me. Now I'm back.
Okay.
Now I'm back.
Okay.
You were going to tell us a story.
Oh, I wasn't, and that froze. I was like, I'll just let them carry on. They probably can't hear me anyway. Okay, so really quickly, when I realized that there really was an issue, was a fight that I had with a dude that I was seeing, but he was married, so I really wasn't supposed to be seeing him anyway. Anyway, he had gone off to see a friend of his, and he had left me where I was at, and I didn't realize he was going to be gone that long, and he was gone for hours. And when he came in, and he was like, "Hey, how's it going?" I was sitting there. I was, you know how you get when you're mad and you're fuming, and the fumes are, and everything is building. So when he got back and he was like, "Hey, how are you?" I was like, "You left me here. I can't believe you did that to me." And he was like, "What the hell is going on?" Man, I went off. It was so bad. Like it wasn't physical, but he was like, "I'm going to call the cops." I was like, "You call them." And I ran into another bedroom, threw myself on the bed all dramatic like, and cried. It was terrible. That was when I was around 45, 46.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, when y'all
So
see me now, trust me, there's a lot of work that was
it's a lot
done.
of work. Yeah. Yeah. And it's necessary and it's part of the evolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was in a relationship. He had a daughter, and his daughter was maybe about 7. And I remember one night he was leaving me so because he was going to pick her up and spend some daddy-daughter time. And I became so jealous, and not jealous of her, jealous that somebody else was having was getting to have his time with him when I wanted that time. And usually, remember, Maisha just said, "Oh, sometimes it's a little manipulative." And for me too, I can manipulate somebody to stay, but this was a bond that I could not get through. So I didn't know how else to behave. And I got all sad and teary. And I was just like, what's happening to me? I didn't even understand what I was feeling. I couldn't even verbalize it. And he stayed with me for a little bit. He hugged me. He was like, babe, I'm going to see you tomorrow. Like, what's up? And I just could not shake this jealousy feeling like, no, I want you to myself. Nothing against that young girl because she was a pleasure. But that was another lesson in communication. I couldn't even communicate that to him.
Yeah.
He kind of understood, but he couldn't help it. He's like, you have to deal with that on your own. I gotta go visit my daughter. So that was really interesting. As you were telling your story, Maisha, that prompted that memory.
Yeah, because it was jealousy for me too, but I didn't know that that's what it was. Like I knew what jealousy was, but I didn't know what jealousy was. So I realized that the times when I lost my shit were the times when I was jealous of something or someone that was taking time away where I wasn't first, and it made me feel unwanted and abandoned. Now I can say all that now. Like now, if I'm with a guy, I can say, I know when you left to do such and such, I felt unwanted and abandoned.
Mm. Oh,
And she froze. And I'm wondering, has there ever been a follow-up question? Has there ever been a follow-up?
How's me being mad at my internet today?
Yeah. So Maisha, has there ever been a follow-up question from your guy where he says, well, what made you feel that? Or has there ever been like,
oh God, no, because no.
Okay.
No. Most men don't know how to, that takes a high level of emotional intelligence. And I mean, I love y'all men, but most men don't know how to do that. I mean, now I'm in a sphere where there are men, the men I deal with would ask that question, but most men they don't know to say, you know what, I sense that there's something else going on. Tell me, what is it really that's happening? Gentlemen, take notes.
Yeah. So I just want to know advice then. We need to be talking about that because how do we get there? How do we get there with our partner? How do we get there with ourselves in any relationship? How do you really communicate and say what needs to be said?
That's hard. And it's a case by case basis, I would think, right? Mm-hmm. Depending on the energy of the conversation, the energy of the of what's happening, even his energy or how he's taking it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's really hard to answer. But again, Maisha said it, that emotional intelligence piece, it's for us to have that as well, and maybe even not even wait to be asked what's going on, but kind of say, hey, this is how I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm
He's taking notes.
He's taking notes. I gotcha. So the onus really is on the communicator. Yeah. So we have to figure out, right? Like you said, it's each situation, but honestly, we have to dig deeper and find out how and what we're trying to communicate, how we wanted it to land, how, we want that person to feel. And I know that's a million things going on at once, but it's one of those things that when you're in a relationship, communication and finances are the number two things, are the top two things that ruin a relationship.
Yeah. And I think really that's just communication, because if finances are messing it up, again, it comes back to communication. There is a method that I have not I'm not certified in or delved into, but I like it. It mixes other things that I've learned before, but Kenya Stevens of Progressive Love Academy, she has cultivated this way of speaking where it's a way to vent. And so you would say, to your person, I have a vent. This is the level that I'm at, 1 through 10. This is not you. I know this is all me. This is my animal, as you say, my ego. And that way now everybody knows this isn't personal. Right. So that's how you start. And then the person starts going into how they feel about whatever it is that's going on. And the other person gets to ask follow-up questions. It's a whole process that seems to be helping a lot of people. It was when I was listening to Carmelle say, like, under what circumstances at this point, I am verbal vomit diarrhea. It's whatever's going on, I'm going to say something, yeah, that's where I am with it. It doesn't, however I'm feeling, it has to be expressed. I'm so mad at my internet tonight.
I know. Oh, your internet is bugging out. But I'm not so much as word vomit and getting it out as I am more or less in pausing and trying to figure out how to communicate to where there's a balance in between the emotional part of what I'm trying to say and what I really am trying to communicate. So, it's a work in progress, and it does help when the person you're communicating to knows that, you're coming from a good place. It's not always just like, I'm trying to, right.
Yeah, that part is very important, right? Because then they don't feel like they're being attacked or judged, or whatever they say is going to be wrong. They can actually let their guard down and be honest based on your level of however you are presenting yourself, and just kind of like, relax, this is how I'm feeling, and let's talk about it. Yeah.
I love what Maurice said, because I think it's so true. I think especially for women, we oftentimes get upset because our minds weren't read. We didn't say anything, but now we're feeling some type of way. You mentioned, Dr. Jemecia, like tips. One of the things that I've learned is if I am upset, I am not blaming the other person, because they are not responsible for how I feel. So instead of, when you did this, you made me feel, which is, something I would say, now it's, I'm feeling this way, because I'm feeling this way. And I assume that this person is not intending to hurt me. So if they're not intending to hurt me, that means I view the world this way, they view the world that way, and we need to find some place in the middle where we can understand each other. So that's how I approach things now. It's just, this is how I'm feeling, and let's see if there's a way to, is it just on me to work on this, or is it something that we need to work on together? And no one's reading my mind anymore.
Right. And
I'm sorry. I was going to say, I'm loving that. Why? Because when I was about to graduate college, I was dating this guy who was very verbally abusive. And I remember saying, you hurt my feelings. He says, I didn't hurt your feelings. You hurt your own feelings. He was horrific. However, I'm so appreciative because he taught me so much. When he said that, he gave me my power back. I was able to break up with him within days because of it. Because I was like, he's so right. I totally gave him the power, and how I'm supposed to feel. And Dr. J, if you're asking the question, when did we learn how to communicate? I think it was that through that abusive relationship for me. Because once he gave me that power, I was just like, okay, they can't read my mind. They don't have the ability to hurt my feelings. I gave him all that power for what? It's not happening anymore. Dude, we're done.
Right. Absolutely. And when you're in a situation like that and you find that the communication is way off, that's when you really don't want to shut all the way down. You want to start practicing this communication.
That's a good point.
Right? You don't want to shut down.
To do it with somebody who's actually willing to communicate back in a way that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yes. People talk about equally yoked down, and because so one of the criteria, which I never had criteria before, but all right, did I freeze again?
Nope.
No.
One of the criteria for me is communication. That's the thing that I'm looking at. Oh, I'm looking at communication skills first before anything else. I need to see how you communicate before anything else. And if your communication skills are piss poor, if they are immature, if they are not on the standard or level that I desire, want, and need, then the rest of it doesn't matter.
100%. We're at that age where we can't teach that right now. That's not what this is about.
I am not interested or invested in teaching someone how to express to me how they feel. They used to be cute when I was younger.
Right, because we were all growing and learning together. Now at a certain age, come on, dude.
And it's not just men, it's women too, y'all. It's women also. Women, are yelling, are nagging, are snide comments, all of those things. Those are not great communication tactics either. Just because you're yelling doesn't make you right. Just because you're being a smart ass doesn't make you cool or cute. We all have to work on it, communication in our relationships.
So good that you said that, because even my business partner, she's not that great of a communicator. And because of that, I'm tight-lipped when I'm around her, or she makes me feel a certain way, or maybe something in the office wasn't quite right. And I'm not going to bring it up because of her, because we don't communicate like that. Like, she goes from 0 to 100 hot. Like, are you trying to offend me? So I just keep tight-lipped. I'm like, I'm on my business. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And if she does something that I dislike or I feel is wrong, I'm really not going to say anything. So that has a lot to do with who you're communicating with. Because if I feel like they're always if their defense is always up, I'm not going to want to bring anything up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even want to communicate with somebody like that. Mm-hmm. So in that regard, the relationship it's not a functioning relationship. So it might be healthier to seek a way out. Mm-hmm. Note to self, Carmelle. Thank you for that, Dr.
And Kathy says, Carmelle, he didn't give you your power back. He never had it. He reminded you of your power.
Thank you. Oh, thank you for that, Kathy.
Yeah. And Raider Steeler fan says, this is why so many relationships, especially monogamous relationships, can't develop and be sustainable because of lack of communication. Lack of communication can lead to selfish agendas. And I'll have to add that I'm not sure that it's only monogamous, Raider Steeler fan. I think all relationships, even professional business, like Carmelle was just saying, relationships, friendships, all of the ships.
That's
Lakeisha.
That's Lakeisha would say all the ships. I agree. Even in polyamorous places too. Yeah.
So thank y'all for that. But that's really all I had to say on it. But honestly, I'm a work in progress. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, because I find that if I care for real, I still have to show up and speak up. If I don't care as much, I don't work as hard to get that communication at a certain, what I'm saying? Do you guys feel me on this?
Yeah.
So, it's always a work in progress. And I think depending on the weight that I put on it, is how much I'm going to work on it. And I think once you get that level of good communication, it's gravy after that. It's great.
I agree.
And I'm actually in a great relationship now, but we still have to work on our communication. I mean, we communicate well, but there's still that we still have those moments. We still have those
I read once that it's like when a couple is together for about 15 years, they know how to.
Okay.
They're finally in sync.
Okay.
Wow. Takes that long, huh?
15 to 20 years. Yeah. They get. Yeah.
Yeah. But I sometimes am like, I just want to be right now. Like, I'm just saying.
That's communicating.
And sometimes that's not cool. And I'm just not right. Like, what? Like, is it that important? No, it's not. It's really not. So sometimes I have to, throttle back and figure out, why is it that you want to be right here? What are you doing here? Yeah. Why are you laughing?
Yeah. Well, that's the follow-up question that you were asking for, Dr. Jemecia. That's the follow-up question, like him saying, well, why do you want to be right? Let's talk about this. Like, why is it so important that you have, but for you to even say that, that's communication. And it's how you feel right now. Mm-hmm. It's valid.
Yeah.
It is. See, the guy I'm with is going to have to know that about me. I would communicate that up front. I need you to understand that I always have a burning desire to be right. And so I need you to know that when I'm wrong, it froze again.
No, you didn't freeze.
No, when I'm okay. When I'm
do not.
I do. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I tell them that?
Because you want to be able.
Well, no. So then you're not my person. See, my person has to know all of my S up front. I'm not going to surprise you with it later. Like then now you're mad because you thought you were getting one woman and you got another. You're going to know I communicate all my BS up front. Listen, I need to be right all the time, even though I know that I'm wrong sometimes. So we need to come up with a strategy here for when you know that I'm not right. But I'm telling you, I don't want him to be surprised. Like, why you always got to be right all the time? That will never be a question. People have already known.
Look at Maurice. Look, Maurice said, "Lord,
he already knows. He already knows
for you or for me."
And me, all I have to do is say, "Hi, I'm a Leo."
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Don't be wrong. See, look at him. Don't be wrong. That's your strategy. That is not a strategy, sir.
Oh Lord.
No.
All right.
So funny. All right. Well,
it's like
well, y'all, we're struggling tonight, so we'll probably be ending this live stream here shortly. We're gonna wait for Maisha to get back in.
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay, I was gonna say real quick. That's how Carmelle says hi. I'm a Leo. The dude has to know that she's gonna want his time and attention. Period. So they're gonna have to come up with it. But he knows that up front, so he's not shocked and appalled, right? But like, why is Carmelle always wanting my attention? No, you communicated that up front.
Listen, you know who I am, how I come. Leos, I'm true to my sign. Good stuff. All right.
I'm good.
Dr. J, you good?
I'm good.
She's over there probably responding to something over there. Hi, I'm a Leo, Cancer, and Virgo. Yes, can you imagine a Leo, Cancer, and a Virgo walk into a bar? Someone who's emotional, someone needs all of the attention, and someone who always has to be right.
The know-it-all who has to be right.
The know-it-all, yes. But here is growth. I can now admit when I'm wrong. You would have never caught me doing that in my younger years. I would have taken my rightness to the grave.
Right, by yourself, mind you. But anyway. Oh wow. All right, y'all. Listen. When did you learn to communicate with opposite sex? That we were just, so just a fun conversation, a fun topic tonight. But you know, as we said, y'all, ladies, we're you know, ladies, gents, who's ever out there listening, we really need to work on it, guys. And it's really for us. It's for us that we learn how to communicate in a way that makes us softer, nicer, kinder, or even more assertive, or whatever it is, to get to that goal of harmony with each other in a relationship. And I'm speaking romantic relationships right now, because I love Black love, and I think that communication is one of those things that we need to work on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
So that's all I've got.
Agreed.
Yes, agreed for sure.
All right, y'all. Well, we will see you on Friday. Bye.
Bye.